Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you guys may be. Welcome to Wings of a Dove. It is July the 28th, 2018. I have another word from the Lord for you guys. I also have a vision as well that I will be going over with you all. And what I'm going to be emphasizing on with you guys is Moses and the crossing over into the Promised Land. Now, for the past couple of weeks, the Lord has given me little nuggets of information and revelation that I have put together for this video that the Lord has released me to do at this time. He has also took me back to videos that I have already done previously. And one of those videos that I have already done previously is my video, The Signs of the End of the Age, when I was going into Matthew chapter 24. What the Lord confirmed to me today about that is that we are getting ready to step into a new age. Now, the Lord had also given me a word, and in that word, the Lord told me His fulfillment is about to take place. He is about to set the captives free. The bride is about to go forth and to do His will in these last days. The Lord also told me in the word, now, the enemy's going to come like a roaring lion, ready to devour whom he can. But, he's going to bring opposition. But what the Lord was telling me is that you're going to have the strength and you're going to get the victory, from all the opposition that the enemy's going to bring. And the Lord reminded me, I am always with you. So over these past couple of weeks, since I had received that word, everything that the Lord has given me has took me back to that word that He gave me. And it is just more confirmation and more little tidbits of what the Lord is giving me as far as revelation of what has been going on in this past season and what we are getting ready to step into. And what the Lord has been doing with us as a body, and that is corporately and physically, and in our personal lives as well. So when we look at Leviticus chapter 20, verse 24, the one thing that the Lord emphasized to me in the scripture is, I'm the Lord your God, which have separated you from other people. We know that God has been doing a separation of the wheat and the tares. He has been doing that for a while. Basically, He is separating the lukewarm and the cold from His true bride, the ones that have a strong foundation in the Lord, the ones who are pure in heart, the ones who have an intimate relationship with the Lord, and who abide in His ways, and who are not rebellious. That is the separation that God is doing. And now that we are getting the revelation that we are crossing over into the Promised Land, that we are getting into a new age, as Scripture says, God is doing a new thing. He's bringing a new thing. As we step into this new thing, this separation has had to take place. Because the ones that are stepping into this Promised Land is God's remnant and His chosen people. Now we know that judgment has begun, and it is going to get intense. And we know that the judgment is here at this time. And it is for those who are rebellious, and the lukewarm, and the cold, and the ones who do not know the Lord, and the sin and the immorality that is going on in the world at this time. God is also bringing a darkness as well to the land for that reason. So with this judgment that is on the land, at the same time, God is going to take His remnant and His chosen people, and we're crossing over. We're going into the Promised Land. We are about to see God's promises. We are about to see miracles, signs, and wonders, miraculous healings, the things that we've been waiting on, the promises of God. He's opening a door. That is where we are right now. We are waiting on that. So what the Lord was emphasizing to me is that the enemy at this time is bringing so much opposition. Because why? He's trying to get us to lose faith. He's trying to get us to doubt. He's trying to get us into unbelief. God is doing a healing work and He's bringing us out of bondage, but the enemy is trying to keep the bondage. Why? Because the enemy has an open door to us through the bondage. So right now, many of us have been experiencing spiritual warfare to a very high degree. At the same time, we have been going through a very intense healing like we never have before. That is what the body is going through right now. But it needs to be done in order for us to cross over, for us to get to the promised land. There are certain things that He is doing with the body that is a requirement for this to happen. So that is what the body has been going through in this past season. But we're getting ready to come out of this past season, out of the wilderness, out of the bondage. Just as the Israelites came out of their bondage that they were in with Pharaoh for so many years, we are getting ready to come out too of our bondage from the enemy that some of us, it has been with all of our lives. So that is just some of, what the Lord was giving me about crossing over and getting into the promised land. We are about to be set free. So please stay in faith and do not get into unbelief and doubt, because the enemy is there like a roaring lion. He has given us opposition. He is waiting. And so we must stay strong. And we must not falter, because miracle signs and wonders are about to happen. Our promises are about to come to pass, the things we've been waiting on. A higher manifestation of the glory of God is coming. And God has been doing a physical and a spiritual work. The physical part is preparing us for the higher glory and the manifestation of God, because that's coming like we have never experienced it before. So there are many things going on. At the same time, God is also developing in us character, perseverance, faith. He is working on our trust with Him. He is making us stronger. He is making us more diligent with our prayer life. He's making us stronger in spiritual warfare. We're learning more about the enemy and his schemes and tactics and plans. So we are kind of in a boot camp. But now some recent dreams that I've had, the Lord has shown me that I was in some schooling in my dreams. But now these last couple of dreams that I've had, I am graduating from school. I'm taking my last test. School is done. So what the Lord was trying to show me is we're coming out of school now. We're coming out of our training. We are coming out of boot camp. And we are getting ready to cross over into the promised land. Now at the same time we're crossing over into the promised land, we are going to gather in the last end time harvest. So we are also preparing for that as well, to bring that last harvest in for these end times. And that is also why we have been going through the things that we have in this past season. So we are being prepared. And God is multitasking with us in several areas, but for, several different reasons. So in the vision that I got from the Lord, I got a vision of Moses holding up his staff and the waters were parting. What the Lord wanted to emphasize with me about this vision is when Moses was holding up his staff, he was winning the battle. He was gaining strength when he was holding up the rod. And so what the Lord was emphasizing to us is we need to keep our hands up. We need to keep them up in worship. We need to keep them up in surrender. When we're going through a healing process and, we're letting God have things, then what we do is we lift our hands and we say, Lord, I surrender this to you. We need to stay in surrender mode. We need to stay in worship mode. We need to get intimate with Him. We need to stay this way at all times. We need to engage in spiritual warfare, in our discernment. So that was what the Lord was emphasizing to me about Moses holding up his staff. It is our strength. Surrendering, worshiping, praying, all of that is our strength, and we need to keep that up because it's going to get us to the promised land. It's going to help us cross over. It's going to give us victory through the opposition that the enemy is bringing us, just as it did Moses. So that was the vision that the Lord gave me with the Word. So just keep that in mind, that we need to keep our strength. We need to keep our hands up. We need to surrender all, and we need to stay in faith and do not falter. Because the enemy would like to bring, he would like to open more doors if he can. He's looking for any kind of door to get in so he can make us falter, and he can put us in doubt and unbelief, strife, division. He's trying everything that he can right now, guys, because he knows we're getting ready to cross over. And once we cross over, we're out of his bondage. Okay, and for some of us, the enemy has, kept us in bondage for years and years, so he does not want to let that go. So keep that in mind. He is going to try to come in any way he can and find any open doors. So keep your discernment up about that. So that was the vision that I had. So I want to end with this. We are at the end of an age. We are getting ready to cross over into the promised land. We are getting ready to go out and get the end time harvest in. But at the same time, judgment is going to be happening as well. But the judgment is not for us. The judgment is for the lukewarm, the cold, the rebellious, the ones who are in sin. But we are going to be moving over. We're going to be moving into the promised land. We are going to be light bearers. Okay? They're going to know that we have God in our lives. We're going to be the light to these people. And that is where we're going to go out and gather in this harvest. So I just want to emphasize that this is where we are. We are at the sea, and it's getting ready to part. So stay strong and stay encouraged. Stay in faith. Keep in your spiritual warfare, because there's a spiritual and a physical thing involved in this that God is doing. Like I said, he's doing multi-things. But it is all a separation, and the separation is for where we're getting ready to go to in this new age that's coming out of this old season and wilderness that, we've been in. Because if we look at the Israelites, they were in, bondage over Pharaoh for so long, many, many years. And finally, God brought them into a land of milk and honey, promised land, out of bondage. So that is where we are right now. So keep in prayer. Please don't falter. Keep your discernment up, because opposition is going to come. But please be encouraged to know that great things are getting ready to happen. God is doing a very tedious and mighty work with us right now. And at times it can get intense. But know that the Lord is with us, and he is seeing us through to our victory. And we are about to see the mighty things of God. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. If you guys have any prayers, please leave them in the comments, and I will pray for you. Remember, ears open, eyes open, listen to the Spirit, and of course keep your eyes to the skies. Stay strong, stay encouraged. The Lord is with us. You guys be blessed. Shalom.